Hi students, welcome to the seventh session of the chapter Atoms. In the previous session, we have solved some problems related to atoms, and today we are going to continue. Now we are going to continue with the fifth problem. Now let us see the fifth numerical problem. This is the problem. The radius of the innermost electron orbit of a hydrogen atom is 5.3 into 10 power minus 11 meters. What are the radii of the n is equal to 2 and n is equal to 3 orbits? Now as you can see in the problem, the radius of the first orbit of hydrogen atom is given. It is a standard value. We already know it. Its value is 0.53 angstroms. Since 1 angstroms is equal to 10 power minus 10 meters, it is also equal to 5.3 into 10 power minus 11 meters. This is already given in the problem. So using this, we have to find out radii of n is equal to 2 and n is equal to 3 orbits. As we know, the formula for radius of the nth orbit of electron, it is Rn is equal to a naught into n square. This formula is for hydrogen atom. For hydrogen atom, Z is equal to 1. So this is the formula for the radius of the electron, the nth orbit of hydrogen atom. So Rn is equal to a naught into n square. We know a naught is called Bose radius, that is nothing but radius of the first orbit of the hydrogen atom. Its value is given 5.3 into 10 power minus 11 meters. Now for the first orbit, that is innermost electron, n is equal to 1. So it's therefore R1 is equal to a naught. So if you substitute n is equal to 1 here, we'll get R1 is equal to a naught. That is nothing but radius of the first orbit of the hydrogen atom. That is innermost orbit of the electron. It's 5.3 into 10 power minus 11 meters. What you need to calculate is, we have to calculate R2 and R3, that is radius in the second orbit and third orbit. Now if you substitute n is equal to 2 for the second orbit, see for the second orbit n is equal to 2, therefore we get R2 is equal to 4 into a naught. So here if you substitute n is equal to 2, we will get R2 equal to 4 into a naught, that is nothing but 4 times the R1. Now that can be calculated very easily. R2 is equal to 4 times a naught. A naught is nothing but R1. It's already given in the problem, 5.3 into 10 power minus 11. So we'll get a radius of n is equal to 2 orbit equal to 2.12 into 10 power minus 10 meters. That is 2.12 angstroms. Now we'll calculate radius of n is equal to 3 orbit. Now for the third orbit, n is equal to 3. So therefore R3 is equal to, if you substitute n is equal to 3 here, 3 square is 9. 9 into a naught, that is nothing but 9 R1, because R1 is equal to a naught. Now R3 can be easily calculated. 9 into a naught. A naught is 5.3 into 10 power minus 11. It is given the problem. So R3 is equal to 4.77 into 10 power minus 10 meters. So this is nothing but radius of the innermost electron orbit, that is n is equal to 1. For n is equal to 2, the radius is 2.12 into 10 power minus 10 meters. And for the third orbit, that is n is equal to 3, R3 is equal to 4.77 into 10 power minus 10 meters. Now let us move on to the next problem. Now this is the sixth problem. There are two sub-questions here. The first one is, using the Bose model, calculate the speed of the electron in a hydrogen atom in the n is equal to 1, 2 and 3 levels. And sub-question B is, calculate the orbital period in each of these levels. Now we will first calculate speed of the electron in the hydrogen atom in n is equal to 1, 2 and 3 levels. We know the formula for orbital speed of the electron in an atom. It is given by V is equal to Z E square divided by 2n epsilon naught h. Z is nothing but atomic number. For hydrogen atom, Z is equal to 1. So this is the formula exclusively for hydrogen atom. Here E is nothing but charge on the electron. N is nothing but principal quantum number. epsilon naught is nothing but permittivity of free space, h is Planck's constant. So we have to know the values of E, epsilon naught and h to calculate orbital speed of the electron in n is equal to 1 level. Now we are going to calculate now. For n is equal to 1, V equal to, in place of E, that is charge on the electron is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. So this is squared divided by 2 into n is equal to 1. That is, here we are calculating speed of the electron in the first orbit, that is first level. So n is equal to 1 and epsilon naught, as we know, is a constant. Its value is equal to 8.854 into 10 power minus 12. Then h is nothing but Planck's constant. Its value is 6.62 into 10 power minus 34. We need to remember all these values, that is charge on the electron, epsilon naught is permittivity of free space, it is a constant value, and h is Planck's constant. So if we make substitution, we are going to get orbital speed of the electron in n is equal to 1 level. So after calculation, we are going to end up with V, that is orbital speed of the electron in the first orbit, equal to 2.18 into 10 power 6 meter per second. Now we have to calculate orbital speed of the electron in the hydrogen atom in n is equal to 2 level. For calculation of orbital speed in n is equal to 2, just we have to substitute n is equal to 2 here, or otherwise we have to know the relation between V1 and V2. If we closely observe the formula for orbital speed of the electron, then orbital speed in the first orbit is 2 times the orbital speed in the second orbit, because for the second orbit we need to substitute n is equal to 2. In that case, orbital speed in the second level, that is n is equal to 2, becomes half of the orbital speed in the first level. That is why we can write the formula V1 is equal to 2V2, that is orbital speed of the electron in the first orbit is 2 times the orbital speed of the electron, same electron, in the second orbit. Similarly, orbital speed of the electron in the first orbit is 3 times the orbital speed of the electron in the third orbit. So if we use this formula, easily we can calculate V2 and V3. V2 is nothing but orbital speed of the electron in the second level. V3 is nothing but orbital speed of the electron in the third level, that is n is equal to 3. So if we use this formula, V2 equal to V1 by 2, that is this formula, V1 is nothing but orbital speed of the electron in the first orbit, which is already calculated just now, 2.18 into 10 power 6 meter per second divided by 2. That means V2 equal to 1.09 into 10 power 6 meter per second. So this is the orbital speed of the electron in n is equal to 2 level. Now similarly we can calculate orbital speed of the electron in the level n is equal to 3. For that we need to use this formula, V3 is equal to V1 by 3. V1 is equal to 2.18 into 10 power 6 divided by 3. So V3 is equal to 0.727 into 10 power 6 meter per second. So we have calculated orbital speed of the electron in the levels n is equal to 1, 2 and 3. Now let us move on to the second part of the problem. That is, we need to calculate orbital period in each of the energy levels. That is, orbital period of the electron in n is equal to 1, 2 and 3 levels. We know that by this time speed is defined as the rate of change of distance. For circular motion, distance travelled is equal to circumference of the circle. So when the electron revolves once, the distance travelled by the electron is equal to circumference of the circle. As we know, speed is nothing but distance by time. Distance is equal to circumference. Circumference is equal to 2 pi r. So we can write V1 is equal to 2 pi r1 by t1. V1 is nothing but speed of the electron in the first orbit. 2 pi r1 is nothing but circumference of the first orbit, and t1 is nothing but time taken to execute one circular motion, that we call as orbital period of the electron in the first orbit. So from here we can write t1 equal to 2 pi r1 divided by v1. We know the value of r1, that is radius of the first orbit of hydrogen atom, and v1 is already calculated. Now if you substitute r1 and v1 in this formula, we will get orbital period of the electron in the level n is equal to 1. Now t1 is equal to 2 into pi 3.14 into r1 is nothing but Bohr's radius, or radius of the first orbit of the electron in the hydrogen atom, that is nothing but 0.53 into 10 power minus 10 meters divided by v1 is calculated 2.18 into 10 power 6. So if we make calculation, if we simplify, you will get orbital period of the electron in n is equal to 1 level, that is 1.52 into 10 power minus 16 seconds. Similarly, we can calculate orbital period of the electron in n is equal to 2 and n is equal to 3 levels. So if we use this formula, we can write T2 equal to 2 pi into R2 divided by V2. R2 is nothing but radius of the second orbit. We know that radius of the second orbit is 2 times the radius of the first orbit. So if we substitute the relation, we get 2 pi into 2R1 divided by V2. Now we can make the calculations. T2 equal to 2 into pi is 3.14 into 2 into R1. 0.53 into 10 power minus 10 divided by V2, that is orbital speed of the electron in n is equal to 2. We already calculated this value. Now that is 1.09 into 10 power 6. So if we make the calculation, we will get T2 equal to 6.1 into 10 power minus 16 seconds. Similarly, we can calculate orbital period in n is equal to 3 level, T3 equal to 2 pi R2 divided by, actually it is 2 pi R3 divided by V3. 2 pi R3 is nothing but 9 R1, because we know R1 is to R2 is to R3 is 1 is to 4 is to 9. So actually we have to make the correction, R2, this is nothing but R3, 2 pi into 9 R1 divided by V3. So if we substitute T3 equal to 2 into 3.14 into 9 into 0.53 into 10 power minus 10 divided by 0.727 into 10 power 6. So if we make the calculation, we will get T3 equal to 41.2 into 10 power minus 16 second. Now let us move on to the next problem. This is the 7th problem. A 12.5 electron volt electron beam is used to bombard gaseous hydrogen at room temperature. What series of wavelengths will be emitted? Now by this time we know that energy of the electron in the first orbit, that is ground state of hydrogen atom, is minus 13.6 electron volt. As you can see here, the energy of the hydrogen atom in the ground state is minus 13.6 electron volt. Now, the energy equal to 12.5 electron volt is given to the electron. If the electron absorbs this energy, it should go to excited state. Now, when it goes to excited state, the energy will become minus 13.6 plus 12.5 electron volt. Now already the electron has energy equal to minus 13.6 electron volt. Externally 12.5 electron volt is supplied. If this energy is absorbed by the electron, then the total energy of the electron in the hydrogen atom becomes minus 13.6 plus 12.5, which is equal to minus 1.1 electron volt. That is minus 1.1 electron volt. Now definitely the electron will be in some excited state. Now we have to calculate what is the value of n, that is principal quantum number of the excited state. Now already we know the formula for energy of the electron in the nth orbit. It is given by En is equal to minus 13.6 Z square by n square. As we know, for hydrogen atom Z is equal to 1. So En is equal to minus 13.6 divided by n square. So in this formula we have to substitute En equal to minus 1.1 electron volt, and we have to calculate n. Z is equal to 1. That we are going to do now. Now energy of the electron after absorption is minus 1.1 electron volt is equal to minus 13.6. Z, as we know, equal to 1. So Z square, 1 square is equal to 1. So n square divided by n square. So electron volt cancels with electron volt. So if we calculate n square, it will be equal to 12.36. If we take square root of 12.36, you will get n is equal to 3.5. What does it mean? The electron cannot go beyond n is equal to 3. So approximately electron will be in the state n is equal to 3. That means electron is in excited state of level n is equal to 3. Since excited state is not stable, the electron eventually it comes back to ground state by giving out photon of some frequency and wavelength. Now we need to calculate that. Now what are the possible transitions that are going to take place from n is equal to 3 to n is equal to 1? There are three cases here. The transition directly may take place from n is equal to 3 to n is equal to 1. In that case, a photon is emitted, or otherwise the electron may come to n is equal to 3 to n is equal to 2, then from n is equal to 2 to n is equal to 1. So there are three cases here. That is what this. After absorbing energy, the electron gets excited into the orbit of n is equal to 3. When this electron transits from excited state to the ground state, the possible transitions are n is equal to 3 to n is equal to 1 directly, or n is equal to 3 to n is equal to 2, and then n is equal to 2 to n is equal to 1. Now we have to see all the three cases. Now the emitted spectrum is in Lyman series. Now we will calculate the series of wavelengths emitted. Now in the first case, when transition takes place directly from n is equal to 3 to n is equal to 1, directly when the electron transits from n is equal to 3 to n is equal to 1, what is the wavelength of emitted photon that is to be calculated? We know that for Lyman series, n1 is equal to 1, n2 is equal to n. So 1 by lambda is equal to r into 1 by 1 square minus 1 by n square. Now r is nothing but Rydberg constant. Now if you substitute, that is for n is equal to 3, because the electron transits from n is equal to 3 to n is equal to 1. So n1 is equal to 1 and n2 is equal to 3. So if we substitute, we are going to end up with lambda equal to 102.55 nanometer. Now this is how the calculations are made. So n1 is equal to 1, n2 is equal to 3. So directly when the electron transits from n is equal to 3 to n is equal to 1, we can see the calculations here. So lambda, we are going to get 102.55 nanometer. Nano refers to 10 power minus 9. So wavelength of emitted photon in the Lyman series when transition takes place from n is equal to 3 to n is equal to 1 is 102.55 nanometer. Now I will see the second case. If transition takes place from n is equal to 3 to n is equal to 2, then we can use the same formula, but here n1 is equal to 2, n2 is equal to 3. So in that case, if we make the calculations, we will get lambda equal to 656.33 nanometer. Now one more case, n is equal to 2 to n is equal to 1. If the transition takes place, then the photon of wavelength equal to 121.54 nanometer will be emitted. As you can see here, in this case, N1 is equal to 1 and N2 is equal to 2. So if you substitute the values in the relation, so we'll get lambda equal to 121.54 nanometer. Now let us move on to the 8th problem. Now this is the problem. In accordance with Bohr's model, find the quantum number that characterizes the Earth's revolution around the Sun in an orbit of radius 1.5 into 10 power 11 meters with orbital speed of 3 into 10 power 4 meter per second, given that mass of the Earth is equal to 6 into 10 power 24 kg. In this problem, we have to find out the principal quantum number of the Earth which is revolving around the Sun by using Bohr's model. Now here we have to use Bohr's quantization principle, that is quantization of angular momentum. Now we know that according to Bohr's quantization of angular momentum, m into v into r is equal to nh by 2 pi. M is nothing but mass of the particle, v is nothing but velocity, r is radius of the path, n is the principal quantum number, h is Planck's constant, 2 pi is constant. So from here, n is equal to 2 pi m into v into r divided by h. We have to calculate n for Earth revolution. Now 2 pi is constant, m is nothing but mass of the revolving object, that is mass of the Earth, v is nothing but the velocity with which it is revolving, r is nothing but radius of the orbit, h is Planck's constant, m is given, v is given, r is given, h is constant. So substitute all the values, will get n. So if you substitute all the values, you will get the value of n equal to 2.6 into 10 power 74. This is nothing but the quantum number that characterizes the Earth's revolution around the Sun. I request the students to pause the video and see how calculations are made. Now let us go to the next problem. Now this is the 9th problem. The problem is obtain the first Bohr's radius and the ground state energy of muonic hydrogen atom, that is an atom in which a negatively charged muon of mass about 207 times the mass of the electron orbits around a proton. We already know the radius of the first orbit of hydrogen atom, but it is not hydrogen atom, it is muonic hydrogen atom, that is the atom in which a negatively charged muon of mass about 207 times the mass of the electron orbits around a proton. So radius will be different. Bohr's radius will be different for this particular atom. We need to calculate that radius. Now as we know, a radius of the orbit of an atom is given by Rn is equal to epsilon naught h square divided by E square pi m n square by z. This is the general formula for calculation of radius of the nth orbit of an atom, any atom. Z is nothing but atomic number, n is nothing but principal quantum number. Epsilon naught is constant, h is constant, E is constant, pi is constant, m is also constant. Now as we see, for muonic hydrogen atom also, Z is equal to 1, that is it contains only one proton, so Z is equal to 1. So for Bohr's radius, n is equal to 1. So if we substitute, we will get R1 equal to epsilon naught h square divided by E square pi m. So n is equal to 1, Z is equal to 1. This is for muonic hydrogen atom as well as hydrogen atom. Now if you see, epsilon naught is constant, h is constant, E is constant, pi is constant, but m is not constant. Now m varies because m is nothing but mass of the electron in hydrogen atom, but in muonic hydrogen atom, mass of the negatively charged particle is 207 times the mass of the electron. So we can write the relation R1 proportional to 1 by me, where m is nothing but mass of the electron or mass of the charged particle. Now, if we write relation, we can write R1 equal to K by me. If you cross multiply, you will get R1 into me is equal to K. So, similarly, if you apply the same formula for the radius of this muonic hydrogen atom, R1 proportional to 1 by mass of that charged muon, which is nothing but R1 into m mu equal to K. Now, if we equate these two equations, we are going to get this equation R1 into me. Me is nothing but mass of the electron equal to capital letter R1 into m mu. M mu is nothing but mass of the muonic negatively charged particle. Now, if you use this relation, we will get R1 equal to R1 into me divided by m mu. Now, m mu is nothing but 207 times me. R1 is nothing but radius of the first orbit of hydrogen atom, what we called as Bohr's radius. So, if we substitute, you will get R1, that is Bohr's radius of the ground state energy of muonic hydrogen atom. That is what we are going to do now. R1 is equal to R1 into me divided by mu, as we know. Now, if you substitute R1, we know that it is 0.53 angstrom, that is 0.53 into 10 power minus 10. I am going to substitute me as it is, divided by mu is nothing but 207 times mass of the electron. This is given in the problem. So, me cancels with me. So, if you make the calculation, we will get R1 equal to 2.56 into 10 power minus 13 meters. Now, let us move on to the next problem. This is the 10th problem. In a Geiger-Marsden experiment, what is the distance of closest approach to the nucleus of a 7.7 mega electron volt comes momentarily to rest and reverses its direction? Now, as we have seen, the distance of closest approach, there is a formula for distance of closest approach. In alpha particle scattering experiment for head-on collision, we have seen the relation, that is the alpha particle is directed towards the nucleus. Its speed decreases, it comes to rest, then it is going to reverse its direction. At that time, when it comes to rest, distance between the alpha particle, center of the alpha particle and center of the nucleus, we call it as distance of closest approach. That is given by the formula D equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 2e into ZE divided by K. This is the formula to calculate distance of closest approach. Now, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is nothing but it is a constant. See, if you make calculation by substituting epsilon naught equal to 8.854 into 10 power minus 12, you will get 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught equal to 9 into 10 power 9. 2 is constant, is nothing but charge on the electron, which is nothing but 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. Z is nothing but atomic number of the nucleus. In the experiment, gold foil is used, so we have to use atomic number of gold. Atomic number of gold is 79 and K is nothing but energy of the alpha particle. It is given in the problem. It is 7.7 mega electron volt. Mega stands for 10 power 6 and electron volt, 1 electron volt is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 joules. Now we need to substitute all these values. So here, as we can see, Z is equal to 79, K equal to 7.7 mega electron volt, that is 7.7 into 10 power 6, that is mega. Electron volt is nothing but 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 joules. So if we substitute all these values in this equation, so D equal to this value 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught value tends to be 9 into 10 power 9 into 2 into 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 into Z. Z is nothing but atomic number of gold 79 into E is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 divided by K. K is nothing but energy, that is 7.7 into 10 power 6 into 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. So if you make the calculations, you will get D equal to 2.9548 into 10 power 14 meters. So this is the distance of closest approach if energy of the alpha particle is equal to 7.7 mega electron volt. Let us move on to the next problem. Now this is the 11th problem. The wavelength of the first member of Balmer series is 656.28 nanometer, that is given in the problem. Calculate the first member of the Paschen series and the third member of Balmer series. We know that for Balmer series n is equal to 2, n1 is equal to 2 and n2 is greater than or equal to 3. So when transition takes place from n2 greater than or equal to 3 to n is equal to 2, we are going to get Balmer series. For Paschen series, n1 is equal to 3 and n2 is greater than or equal to 4. Now the wavelength of the first member of the Balmer series is given. We have to calculate first member of the Paschen series and third member of Balmer series. Now first we will try to calculate the first member of the Paschen series. Now as we know, this is the wavelength of the emitted photon when an electron transits from n2 to n1. Here RH is nothing but Rydberg constant. Lambda is nothing but wavelength of emitted photon. Now for first member of Balmer series, it is given, wavelength is given. For first member, lambda is equal to 656.28 into 10 power minus 9 meters. N1 is equal to 2 and N2 is equal to 3. That is for first member of Balmer series. So if we substitute all the data here, we are going to get this equation, that is 1 by 656.28 into 10 power minus 9 equal to RH into 1 by 2 square minus 1 by 3 square. See here, N1 is equal to 2, N2 is equal to 3. This is about, this is for first member of Balmer series. So if we make calculation, we are going to end up with this equation, equation 1. Now, we will see for first member of Paschen series. Now for first member of Paschen series, N1 is equal to 3 and N2 is equal to 4. Now if we substitute N1 is equal to 3 and N2 is equal to 4 in the same formula, we are going to get this equation 1 by lambda. We don't know what is lambda, that is to be calculated RH into 1 by 3 square minus 1 by 4 square. So if we make calculation, we are going to end up with equation 2. Now if we solve these two equations, that is equation 1 and equation 2, we will get the value of lambda. Lambda is nothing but, here it is the wavelength of first member of Paschen series. That is done in the next page. See, we have to divide equation 1 by equation 2. We are going to end up with this result, that is lambda equal to 1875 into 10 power minus 9 meters, that is 1875 nanometer. Now there is one more part here. The next part is we need to calculate the wavelength of the third member of the Balmer series. Very easily we can calculate. This is standard formula. For the first member, it is given N1 is equal to 2, N2 is equal to 3. Lambda is given. So if we substitute, we will end up with equation 1, same equation 1. But for third member of the Balmer series, N1 is equal to 2 and N2 is equal to 5. In that case, if you substitute N1 and N2 here, we are going to end up with equation 2. Now these two equations are to be solved to get the wavelength of third member of Balmer series. Now as usual, we have to divide equation 1 by equation 2. We are going to get lambda equal to 434 into 10 power minus 9 meters, that is 434 nanometer. Dear students, we have reached the end of this chapter. I request the students to go through the assignment problems and try to solve them. To get notification to my latest videos, click on the subscriber button. As you can see, there are assignment questions given. Go through the assignment questions and try to answer them. You can pause the video and you can go through the assignment questions. There are about 10 to 11 assignment questions. Try to answer them. Just pause the video and see the assignment problems.